47. Muhammad, the beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muslims were persecuted and oppressed in Mecca for 13 years, and even after the migration to Medina, they were attacked. So, in the second year of Hijrah, Muslims were given formal permission to take up arms against oppressors. Permission to fight is given to those who were attacked and oppressed. Chapter Al-Hajj, verse 39. Muslim scholars' unanimous opinion about war is, it is only permissible in defense. Offensive invasions are not permitted except in special circumstances. Chapter Muhammad was revealed in Medina before the Battle of Badr. It reflects the new era of hostility at the threshold of war, and its other name is fighting. The chapter opens by describing the perennial conflict between truth and falsehood and urges believers to be steadfast, since the life of a believer is, in one way or another, a constant battle. The chapter makes clear that Islam does not surrender to oppressors and urges its followers to stand up against oppression and support the victims. War becomes necessary to defend people's rights and freedoms and to defeat evil. When you encounter the disbelievers in battle, beat their necks. God will never let the works of those killed in his way go to waste. Verse 4. This is followed by images of the luxuries of paradise. Rivers of water with never-changing taste and smell, rivers of milk whose taste never changes, rivers of wine that give pleasure to their drinkers, and rivers of pure honey. For them are all kinds of fruits. Verse 15. The chapter alludes to the signs of the final hour. Many ahadith give lists of these signs. The Prophet ﷺ said, people will distribute booty among themselves. Things in trust will be misused. The zakah will be regarded as a tax. Knowledge will be learnt for worldly purposes. A husband obedient to wife, but disobedient to his mother. A person will be closer to his friend than father. Mosques will be noisy places. Wicked persons will be leaders. People will be respected to escape their harm. Singers will be popular. Alcohol common. People will curse ancestors. Storms and earthquakes common. Tirmidhi. The hypocrites were a group who were confused, unsure, and disliked the new community of believers. Their malicious plots, attitudes, and disgraceful behavior is exposed. They were cynical about the Prophet ﷺ and terrified of fighting for the truth. The Prophet ﷺ is warned about them, and they are identified for him. So he was made aware of them, but he did not name or shame until after the Battle of Tabuk in the 8th year of Hijrah. Just as the chapter opened by highlighting the human tendency to war, it closes by encouraging the faithful to be ever vigilant, willing, and prepared to defend themselves against tyranny. This is a costly business, so they are urged to spend in the path of God to defend their rights. Miserliness, selfishness, and self-centeredness is sternly condemned. In the name of God, the kind, the caring. The works of the disbelievers who obstruct people from accepting God's religion are wasted, but the believers who are righteous and convinced of the truth revealed to Muhammad from his Lord will be forgiven their sins, and God will improve their current situation. This is because the disbelievers follow falsehood and the believers follow their Lord's truth. This is how God presents examples for people. When you encounter the disbelievers in battle, beat their necks until they are thoroughly weakened, then tie them up with ropes as captives. Afterwards, you can release them gracefully or take a ransom from them, but they must have surrendered their weapons. That is an order. Had God wanted, he could have taken revenge himself from them, but he wishes to test some of you with others. God will never let the deeds of those killed go to waste. He will guide and improve their situation, and he shall admit them into the paradise he guided them to. Believers, if you help God's religion, then he will help you and make you firm and strong minded. On the other hand, the disbelievers will be ruined and their works will go to waste. This is because they dislike what God reveals and wasted their works. Haven't they traveled about in the land so they may see the fate of those people before them? God destroyed them, and the same fate awaits these disbelievers. This is because God is the protector of believers, but the disbelievers have no protector. God will admit the righteous believers into paradise with running streams. The disbelievers today are enjoying themselves and eating like cattle, although the fire is their final home. There were many towns more powerful than the town that expelled you, yet we destroyed their residents and they had no helper. Is the one who accepted the Lord's clear arguments like the one whose evil deeds seem attractive and he follows his desires? The paradise promised to the God conscious will have rivers of water whose taste and smell never changes, rivers of milk whose taste never changes, rivers of wine that give pleasure to their drinkers, and rivers of pure honey. For them are all kinds of fruits, as well as forgiveness from their Lord. Can these be like those who will be in the fire forever, given boiling water to drink that cuts through their bowels? Some of them listen carefully to you until they leave you, and say to those who were given knowledge, "What was he saying just now?" These are people whose hearts God sealed, and they followed their desires. Those who followed the straight path, God increased their guidance and blessed them with piety. So, are they waiting for the final hour to overwhelm them suddenly? Its signs have already appeared. So, what use will it be to pay attention then? No, there is no God but God, and pray that God protects your people from sins, and seek forgiveness for the sins of all believing men and women. God knows your places of work and rest. And the believers say, "Why hasn't a chapter been revealed about fighting?" When a decisive chapter is revealed that mentions fighting, you will see people with a disease in their hearts looking at you like the one who is in death throes. It would be far better for them to obey and to say a good thing when the commandment came to pass. If only they were sincere about God, that would be far better for them. So if you turn away now, perhaps you would create corruption on the land and sever your blood ties. God cursed these people, made them deaf and blinded their eyes. Haven't they reflected on the Quran? Or are there locks on their minds? Those who turn their backs after the truth was made clear to them have been fooled by Satan and given false long hopes. That is because they say to those who hate what God has revealed, "We will follow you in some things only." God knows their secrets. What will it be like when the angels take their souls at the time of death, and they will be striking them on their faces and backs? That punishment will be because they followed what angers God, and they disliked seeking divine pleasure. So their works are now worthless. Or do those with disease in their heart think God will never expose their hatred? If we wanted, we can show them to you, and you will easily recognize them from their faces and from the tone of their speech. God knows your works. We shall test you in order to see who among you strives hard and is patient and test the sincerity of your claims. The disbelievers who stop others from God's way and oppose the messenger after the truth is made clear to them are incapable of harming God in the slightest, and their works will be worthless. Believers, obey God and obey the messenger, and don't ruin your works. Surely, the disbelievers who stop others from God's way will not be forgiven if they die as disbelievers. Believers, never lose heart nor beg for peace. You shall be dominant, and God will be with you, and He will not deprive you of the reward for your works. Indeed, the life of this world is an amusement and pleasant pastime. However, if you believe and are mindful, you will have rewards. And He will not ask you to give all of your wealth. Were He to demand from you to spend all of your wealth, you would be miserly, and your dislike to spend would then be exposed. You are called upon to spend some of it in God's way, but some of you are miserly, and whoever is miserly deprives himself of goodness. God is self-sufficient, whereas you are in need of Him. And if you turn away, He will bring others in your place, and they will not be the likes of you.